The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge.
11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Schultz. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the Friday edition of the Trader's Edge. Folks, hopefully you're having a fantastic day out there. It is Fantastic Friday, and I absolutely treasure your presence here today, folks. And my outcome is to help you to become a better money master. But mostly, folks, it is to provide you with the tools so that you can lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that is really what it's all about at the end of the day. Let's go take a look at one of our tools. This is the tool, folks, that we all need. This is called the tool of perseverance. Ask yourself this question. Let me ask yourself this question. Have you ever said to yourself, have you ever uttered the words, "What's the use?" Have you ever said that? I know I could raise my hand. I've said it more than once. Of course, I know whenever I utter those words that it's really just the universe that's really testing me. And the best thing to do, folks, actually, I've got one more, let me ask you this, because really the best thing to do is to ask yourself always a better question, because here's the deal. If you ask yourself a lousy question, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lousy result. So what you want to be able to do is maybe say, instead of, if you ever utter those words, what's the use? The better question is, who is it that you're working for? List all those folks, all those wonderful people that you're doing whatever it is that you are doing. Who are you doing that for? Maybe it's family, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's clients like yourself. You know, here at TFNN, I can guarantee you that all of the contributors here are doing everything they can for each of you listening in, whether you're listening on an archive show, whether you're listening to us live, whether you're calling in, and list down who it is that you're doing things for, folks. Whenever you utter those words, what's the use? Because when you say what's the use, what you're really questioning is whether or not you're going to persevere for whatever the outcome is that you are tracking towards. And you absolutely want to be able to do that. And you want to make sure that you know who it is that you are. What's the drive, the reason why behind it? You know, Ernest Hemingway, he wrote the following. He said, a man alone, so I'm going to say a man or a woman alone hasn't got a chance, folks. And that means we all need each other. We absolutely need you out here. We appreciate you listening. Maybe you're watching us on TigerTV. If not, you can always catch the archive of this show on Channel 9. If you're listening to us on the radio, thanks so much. Maybe it's just your mobile device by going to tfnn.mobi. But however it is that you're listening to us, folks, you know, we all need each other. We absolutely need you. So as you begin your weekend, go out there, give a big hug, folks, to all those folks that you love. I'm wrapping my arms around you as much as I can, around that whole camera lens, and giving you as big a hug as we can, because when you understand why it is that you do what you do, folks, you will persevere. That is the fuel behind perseverance. And just continue to look outward and continue your journey, folks. So let's go take a look at the journey of these markets out here. A big pop in the markets yesterday with the Dow up 244, the S&P up 28, and a lot of what we saw yesterday, folks, not the only thing, but a lot of what we saw yesterday was short covering rally out there. And why? Because each technical trader that was out there certainly knew that when we took a look at the markets, as we've been talking about here at TFNN, that we're up against an area, we were up against an area that was resistance. When you get over resistance, it's supposed to do what, folks? It's supposed to be support. And so we're going to see if that area, in those areas, turn out to be support. And so we had short covering rallies. I contributed to that short covering rally yesterday, as well as many others out there. And so we'll see what happens. You know, right now today, if we take a look at the futures market, you've got the Dow futures up about 15 points. That's off of its highs. It was up about 50 or so earlier in the trading session. NASDAQ futures actually have slipped to negative. Intel out there warning against third quarter numbers out there. You've got the Russell 2000s up a couple points. The ES Mini, that's what we're looking at here on my screen, traveling out at 1433.75 right now. We'll take a look at that. But really, the story is about the Queen. The story is really, it is all about the Queen out here today. So let's just simply switch over and so that you can understand what's going on. Because You know, the job numbers were released. The expectations were somewhere around 140. Of course, after yesterday's numbers out there, the ADP numbers, the 140 seemed like that was a no-brainer. That was going to be easy to get up and over. Instead, those numbers coming in at 96,000. The markets are at highs. The Dow is just trying to tag, quite frankly. You know, if you take a look at the weekly chart, trying to tag the bottom of the all-time high inside the Dow. It's not that far away. And everybody out there, at least not in the marketplace, I suppose, screaming for QE3 makes absolutely no sense out there, but will make sense of these markets. And so you have disappointment on the jobs numbers. What that did was that fueled the fire that, okay, that's going to give the Fed all of the energy that it needs, as if the Fed can absolutely control what goes on in the hiring marketplace. Pretty insane out there. But let's go see how the market reacted. Let's take a look at the euro. And if you're watching us yesterday, maybe it was the Money Master show that Tom and I do after this, what we were taking a look at as the euro was moving down. The euro was moving down into a great set of Fibonacci numbers, both an expansion and a contraction. And folks, it's so important for you to have this in your tool case if you want to understand the dynamics of what's going on in the marketplace. If you want to understand where fear and greed, and what you're always looking for, you're looking for that major intersection where you can have two of those numbers come together. Well, in this case here, you had sweet 618. That was a 618 retracement off of where Uncle Super Mario was hanging out in my hammer candle. But if we take a look at the swing point low out here that came in at about 4:30 in the morning or so, this is on September 5th, price point 125, we'll just call it 125 even Steven. And from that point all the way up to the high that was put in at 8 o'clock in the morning on September 6th, the market pulls back. The currency market. Now we're looking at the 30-minute chart on my screen. So it pulls back, and what does it pull back to? You can see it right here. Pulls back to the sweet 618 retracement level, and as it was doing that, it was also making a 1.618 expansion. What I said yesterday, in fact, when it did that, folks, it also created a very nice morning star candle pattern out there, and that was the area, that was where the line was drawn in the sand with regard to support. Market never went back there, never looked up there. What we talked about was that was the C point of an A to B equals CD up in the euro. Said that, the 1-to-1 would take you to 1.27104. That area was hit at the exact time frame. Looks like it was hit at 7:30 this morning as it got up to 1.27098. Moves just a little bit higher that following candle. But what you see here, if you take a look at this, as the market's moving up into that area, who's in control? Who is in control if you just simply take a look at candles out there? The bulls or the bears? See, the market is communicating to you no matter what. You don't really have to pay attention to any of the news. In fact, really what you want to do is you just simply want to pay attention to what are the traders doing out here, folks. In this case here, it just simply said the bulls were in control. The bulls, as it got to that first 1-to-1 level, still in control. And you can see as the jobs numbers were released here between that 8:30, 9 o'clock session, motors right on up above the 1.272 level. Who's in control when it comes to the euro, folks? The big commercials, they are out there. They are buying the euro here, folks. It is up above that 127 level. You say, Steve-O, I hope you say that. What's the next level? Well, until a bearish candle shows up, that says 1.28025 is next on the horizon for the euro. But before it gets there, all we really have to do is just simply pay attention to the chart. And 30-minute is a great time frame. If you're just simply taking a look at intraday trading out there, it's got very good patterns associated with it, and that is on the euro out there. If we now go take a look at what was the other effects out there, well, how about gold? Goldilocks trading out at $17.29 right now, up 24 bucks and change. Silver up almost 2%, trading out at $33.29. So let's go take a look at those two contracts and see what we see out here. Let's take a look at gold. We're going to see the spike. Folks, you talk about folks that were thinking that the QE3 is on the way, and I suggest right now you don't get necessarily trapped in on this gold trade here. If you're in the gold trade, that's a beauty. Move your stops up, but don't be chasing this thing here right now. We'll take a look at the daily, the weekly. Certainly we'll do that. If not during this show here, we'll do it during the Nadex trading hour. That is Friday. That's right. It's Fantastic Friday, and on Fridays we do the Nadex trading hour instead of the Money Masters show out here. But you can see who's in control here. Absolutely the bulls. You've got gold trade out at $17.29. That's wide price spread, isn't it? And this is a 10-minute chart, of course. But you had gold travel from a low of $16.98 all the way up to $17.26 in just simply 10 minutes of time. Folks believing that QE3 QE4, QE5, QE for the rest of our lives is just on the way. If we go take a look at the weekly contract, though, what you can see here in gold, as we've been showing for quite some time, gold had broken through this trend line. That trend line going back on the weekly chart all the way to the October 24th, 2008 level. That was down at 681. Now what gold is doing is testing that trend line. And I expect that what it will do, it should see some resistance here and then go ahead and pull back. Gold is giving us certainly a long-term buy signal. But what you want to do if you're not in this trade here is look for gold to pull back. Buy it on its next pullback here, which I imagine will be somewhere in that 1650 level out here. At least that's what it looks like right now. But don't jump in front of this freight train right here. You know, gold would really need to clear this area with conviction. If it clears the area with conviction, what it will do is it'll pull back and it'll test the bottom of the, once it gets up over, it'll come back and it'll test the bottom of that trend line here. Now is not the time to chase this. If we take a look at silver out here and we take a look at silver, this is the daily chart on silver. You can see all that silver doing right now is nothing more than a 0.618 retracement, which is normal. That 618 retracement coming off of the swing point high from February 29th when the silver was out at the 37.58 level. So from that high all the way down to the low that was put in on June the 28th out at 26.10, it has done a 0.618. That exact number, 33.20. You've got gold or silver trading out at 33.33 right now. Still, who's in control? Absolutely, the bulls are in control here. What you do have is, if we take a look at this volume bar right here. Where is this? Let's see what this volume bar takes you up to. Volume bar says that right here at about the $34.45 level, that would get you up to 35. Let's say in the $35 where you'd have a 0.786 Gartley sell pattern. That is possibly where silver is headed to. What you want to do is you just simply want to buy it on the next retracement. You do not need to chase silver here. If you are long and strong, just simply continue to adjust your stops in whatever vehicle it is that you are trading out there. That is on high-ho silver. If we go take a quick peek around the world here, let's go see what we've got going on over in Germany. Over in Germany, up and over the resistance area, that would be the swing point of March the 16th. That swing point high, 71.94.33. Look for the DAX. You want to see the DAX close above that area. If it closes back below, what it will do is it will set up the DAX pulling back before it makes its next move up. But that is the most short-term resistance area on the DAX. That area has not been tested. And the DAX here, the next area for the DAX to really trade into happens to be where the downdraft started in July 2011. That price point, folks, 73.82. You're at 72.22 right now. That's 100 points. 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Hope you're having a great morning. I look forward to speaking to you in just a few. We'll be right back.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on TigerTV with her small cap roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
With the launch of TigerTV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks, and obviously around the world last night, the U.S. handing off to Asia. Over in Asia, the Hang Seng was up 592 points last night. This is just a tad over 3%. You had the Shanghai up 3.7%. The Nikkei up 2.2% as well. Let's go take a look over in Europe. If we take a look, not in Europe, let's go take a look at Asia. Let's take a look at the Shanghai index, and I can find my tab here on the screen. Come on, where are you hiding? There we go. Okay, so we take a look at, we've got the weekly chart up here. This is for the Shanghai. If we take a look at the weekly, it completed a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. That A point on here goes all the way back to the highs that came in the week of August 7th, 2009, out at 36.51.20. That's your A point. Your B point on the weekly is as it came down on July 2nd out at 24.31.61, makes about a 0.618 retracement. At least that's what it looks like to me. The C point on this is November 12th, 2010, as it moves up to 33.38.01. You see these AB equals CD patterns, folks. They work on any chart, any time frame, any chart, no matter what it is you're trading, index or what have you. Your 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, 21.18.82 was the price projection, 21, and it actually got down to a low here. Looks like the low came in 21.24 this week, 21, yeah, so 21.24. You got to love it. And what does it do here right now? Creates a nice big bullish engulfing candle, has some volume behind the move, the real volume behind the move. Check this out, folks. Let's look at this on the daily chart. There is some volume. That volume coming off of a 1.272 butterfly buy pattern out here, folks. That is on the Shanghai. Looks like over in China, they're going to empty out some of those warehouses that Tom was talking about, and that has got some conviction behind the move out there. If we go take a look at, let's go take a look at the King. We were looking at the Queen earlier. If we go take a look at King Dollar out here, we were showing here on the daily chart, showing this downtrend channel. You want to go ahead and make sure that you add channels as well to your charting tools out here. You can see that the U.S. dollar index now moving down towards the bottom. It has moved through that 100% move of a move area. That was taking out the swing point for May 21st. That low, 81.03. You're at 80.41 right now. I suspect that what we will see is we'll see the U.S. dollar index move down. Doesn't have to do it today, but it will move down into the bottom of this downtrend channel. And I suspect that what it's going to do is going to move all the way down to that 0.786 retracement, down at about $79.86. Of course, that is really the next move down. That is on King Dollar out there. If we take a look at, let's just go take a look at the futures markets here. Let's go take a look at yesterday's action and what it did. Let's first start off with the ES Mini. The ES Mini here breaking through resistance areas. Those resistance areas here on the daily chart going back to the March 26th high. That was out at 14.15.15. The high that was out here that was established August 21st as well, 14.24. What you do see setting up here is you'll see a butterfly sell pattern. That butterfly sell pattern coming right in at the 14.63 level. You're at 14.34 right now. I suspect that that is where the ES Mini wants to travel to. Doesn't have to do it today, folks. So, but that is where the next pattern is set up. When it gets up in that area, what it's going to run into, it's going to run into two nice Fibonacci expansion numbers, 1.272 and 2.618 as well, folks. And when it runs into that area, what we can do is let's mark that down. That is 1463. Just write that down on a pad of paper here. And now let's go over and take a look at the monthly. Let's just put this on a monthly, then we'll go back, take a look at the weekly, and let's see what we have over at the 1463 level. So here, folks, is the all-time high, October 31st, 2007. The low of that is 1492. You can see how close we are, and yet everyone is screaming about QE out there, folks. Man, people need their juice in order to keep these markets here moving higher. So that is the swing point. So I'd say the range is going to be 1463 to the 1492 level when it runs into its next area of resistance out there. You do have a bearish engulfing candle on the monthly chart out there. If we take a look at the weekly, see what the setup on the weekly, when do we run into the next swing point here on the ES Mini? It's going to be running into it right here. This is the week of December 14th, 2007. The low there, 1468. I said 1463. So that's your next intermediate stop on the ES Mini. That is on the weekly chart. Of course, what that means is that the ES Mini needs to close today above 1424.75. If it doesn't, that could suggest a false break topside. 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. We get back. We'll go see how these markets are going to open. We'll see what's popping and what's dropping. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on TigerTV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Races. You got the Dow up 4 points. S&P's up 2. Composite down 7. Small caps up 2. Microsoft down 47 ticks right now. Intel getting a little smoke this morning off a buck here. Google up 50 cents. Cisco down 24. Apple not out of the gate, just up a buck here right now. Popping to the upside. Priceline leading the charge. Priceline up 14 bucks and change. That's up 2% here. You've got Cooper Cosmetics. Cooper Companies, maybe. COO is the ticker symbol. They're up strong this morning, up 9%. Let's see what's behind. Maybe it's Cooper Tires, Cooper Companies. Let's see. What do they have here? They've got revenue. Let's see here. Okay, fiscal year revenue, that's just expected. Net income, Q3 net income, $66 million versus $44. Nicely done there. $378 million in sales versus $351. Not so big on the top line. Up 9% this morning. That's up $8 and change. You've got Ulta Salon, ULTA, the ticker symbol. They're up 7% this morning. They're up $6 and change. Rand Gold having another strong day out there. GOLD, they're up 4% this morning. Amazon continuing to make some highs, up $3 and change, up 1 3/10% here. Google up $3. Cliffs Natural, CLF, up about 8% this morning. That's what's popping to the upside. Let's take a look at what's dropping to the downside. You've got Audience Inc. Oof. What the heck happened here? ADNC is the ticker symbol, off 68% this morning. That's down $12. We got to go take a look at that. And I don't see what the heck is behind that move there. Audience sync. So let's go take a look at, let me switch over here to my show charts. Let's go take a look at this. See, it's certainly got to be coming down to some type of volume bar out there. ADNC. Talk about getting smoked out here. Being, how do you like to wake up and be down 70%? That's exactly what is going on. So this is an IPO? Oh, my goodness. Let's go see what these guys actually don't do out here. What the heck? You talk about pushing paper. So let's go see here. ADNC is the ticker symbol. I want to see what these guys are supposed to do. ADNC. Apparently it does not create shareholder wealth. Okay, Audience Inc. provides intelligent voice and audio solutions for mobile devices worldwide. The company's platform consists of proprietary purpose-built digital signal processors. Hey, maybe somebody in the den can tell me what the news is behind this stock here. So I can't tell you where this stock is going other than down towards zero. Folks, the stock here, IPOs on May the 10th, price range $18.96 to $20.20, 5.5 million shares traded hands that day. Let me see here real quickly. I'm not going to spend time looking here for the float because it doesn't just pop out. The float, looks like 6 million shares, 6.4 million shares. And so far this morning here, trading down about 70%, 1.4 million shares here in just simply the first 7 minutes of trading here. This thing is just getting hammered. Just cross it off your chart if it ever was on your chart out here. Melanix, the next guy, gal, moving to the downside. MLNX is the ticker symbol, down 4%, off $4 and change. Guidewire, after having some nice moves here, down 8% this morning. We'll see if there's some volume behind that. $2.50 is what it's trading off. Pandora Media off 18% this morning. Good Lord. Let's go take a look at that chart here. I do like the service. Haven't used it much, but I do a weekly or every other week webcast for my clients, and just before they come on, we usually just like some artists punch it in there just so there's some music to listen to. So it's really kind of a cool, great service out there. If we take a look at Pandora Media here, this was an IPO, folks, that goes all the way back to the June 15th time frame. The real question is, for a lot of these companies that are coming out, the real issue is, how do they monetize what it is that they do out there? And those that find the solutions to that are going to have a beautiful future in front of them. And those that can't, they're going to end up looking like stock charts like this. Do not get in front of Pandora Media. Pandora Media here had a broke topside on August the 30th. Had some big volume behind it. Did 40 million shares out there. Now, so right now what it is doing, it's pulling back into the August 29th area where it broke out. Volume so far today is 5.6 million shares. So if you were a trader, you might pay attention, you might watch this equity, but when it was breaking out, what it was doing, and it couldn't even with that kind of volume, if you take a look at Pandora Media, what you would do is you'd go back to the area where it broke down, which was March the 6th. So it breaks down March 6th. It had a closing price of $14.27, did 7 million shares, wakes up the next morning, 22 million shares to the downside. So you've got, some big distribution going on in this equity, especially for it being just a brand new IPO, not that old out there. And so just a few months. So then when it pops up, and it pops up with some big volume, again, that big volume, 40 million shares, it couldn't even go up and try to get back to the area where it broke down. And today, again, moving slower. I say don't even think about trading the stock. Just mark that one off your list as well. That was Pandora Media. We had a question about in the den, folks, and if you haven't tried the Tiger's Den, you got to ask yourself the question, why? You should try it out. 30 days for free. Go to the homepage at tfnn.com. Absolutely. I opened up the show, talked about perseverance out here, folks. And, we can't do it by ourselves, and there is no better place for you to, get additional information and content. Obviously, you got it 24 hours a day here at TFNN, but your next best place to shop for that is at the Tiger's Den. So go give that a check out. Let's go take a look at light sweet crude, see what light sweet crude is doing right now, trading down 38 cents. So light sweet crude not acting to the news of the jobs report, which then led to the news of, we must have QE, because that's when you take a look at gold and silver out there. It looks like that's really what is behind the move there. And if you take a look at light sweet crude, what it is now doing, there's really two trend lines that I would take a look at on a chart. There's a longer-term trend line. That's the one that's got the real meaning behind it. That's one going back all the way to March 1st. The high out there was 110.55. That's your first touch point. Again, this is trend lines, not channel lines. May 1st is the next spot. You're looking at 106.43, and you can see how that trend line has contained price. You had light sweet crude get up yesterday, got up to a high of 97.71. Ran right into that trend line area. That also happened to be the 0.618 retracement. It's been hanging out that 0.618 retracement level here. It has now broken this little shorter term trend line. Let me just redraw this here because I should have really used the candle earlier. So let's just do this right. If you're going to do it right. So let's take a look at the trend lines off of the low from June 28th when it got down to 77.28 out there. So now you can see the clear break of that trend line. All that the oil did here today was got up, tried to tag it, and now is moving a bit lower here. I don't see the signal here for being short. But if you are long, I do see the signals to be tightening up your stop. That is on light sweet crude out there. Let's continue taking a look at some of these stocks here that are popping and dropping. Let's go see what Alta Salon is doing. One of the IBs got back. It's made its way back to the IBD 50 out here. Alta Salon popping up. Let's take a look at the volume behind the move out here. Looks like Alta Salon. Let's see. Did they have numbers released here? ULTA is the ticker symbol. Let's see here if they did have numbers. They did Q2 net income $35 million versus 23. Revenues growing nicely. Net sales $481 versus $394 million. The question is, what are the comp store sales here, which I don't show on my system, but I would be curious about that. Alta Salon making new time highs out here, taking out a swing point. The swing point on this would be, I would give it the downdraft. I'd look towards this swing point here, which would be June 6th, 97.89, did 3.5 million shares there. So far this morning, this thing here is done 511,000 shares. Let's take a look at this on a weekly chart now that it has broken out. And if you take a look at let's take a look at it on a monthly chart. Let's do that. Just simply a rocket ship. Let's not... I'm pretty hard on this monthly chart here, folks, to try to identify an A to B equals CD up because it's just been a straight line move on the way up. If you're going to do that on the weekly chart here, what you would probably do is start off with the lows back in March 2009 when it's traded at about $4.20, traded at 103 right now. So you talk about Apple having made a move, Alta Salon a bigger move, I believe, when you do the numbers on that. So if we take a look at the weekly chart, let's see the B point here. B point would be the week of July 8th, 2011, 68.80, does 3.5 million shares. Let's see if that B point gets crossed with volume out here. Here's the volume bar. And as the B point gets crossed right here, it absolutely does. That is the week of January 6th, just nudges right over it, 5.7 million. That 5.7 million was going against about 3.2. That's on Alta Salon. That sets up Alta Salon wants to travel up to the 112.60 area, perhaps wants to travel up to 130.24. If we take a look at what else is popping and dropping, let's go take a look at Guidewire. Let's go look at Guidewire because that has had a nice move here earlier in the week. GWRE, maybe this thing is pulling back into a breakout area. GWRE is the ticker symbol. Well, it certainly is pulling back into a breakout area. Now the question is it doing it with light volume? So let's go take a look at Guidewire here. Guidewire gapped up on the 5th. When was that? 2 trading sets ago. It's Friday. So it gaps up on Wednesday. Does that with some volume. And let's go see. So Guidewire's an IPO, comes out at a price range of about 16.45 to 18 the week of January 25th out here. It's made a swing point high. That swing point high is made on March 26th with 313,000 shares. Not a ton of liquidity, certainly at that stage. So as this tries to take out a swing point, it shouldn't have, hopefully wouldn't have any problem doing that. But 313,000 shares nonetheless. This thing pulls back, and it pulls back into a price low here, swing point low, on June 4th, 2012, gets out to 2240. So if this thing were setting up an A to B equals CD, let's go take a look at this on Guidewire. We have our A point, which was the IPO date. We've got our B point. That was a swing point high. And let's pull it down. It looks like June 8th is a price of 2251 and 2240. We'll use 2240 June 4th out there with 232,000 shares. And so now what it has done this morning here, volume-wise, 449,000 shares, and it gapped up with 2.8 million. But the day that you really also like to benchmark it is the session that it gapped up from, which is September 4th, 732,000 shares. So it's coming in there a little bit hot. I would just kind of wait and be patient on this. Let's take I'd come back to it later in the day and take a look at it. That was on Guidewire. Let's go take a look at what else do we have here popping and dropping. We took a look at Pandora Media. You've got Petrium Resources, PVG is the ticker symbol. They're getting the kibosh this morning, down 12.5%. Let's go see what PVG here is doing, other than getting, and it's coming down with volume. So let's go see what this is going against here. Ticker symbol again, PVG. This thing here, so let me make sure I've got all of the data on this equity. Looks like I do. Looks like this was a IPO going back to January 2011 when it opened up at about the $6 range out here. Now let's take a look at this first high volume bar. So it's got a nice volume bar out here, but without wide price spread. And so when you have bars like that, it's important to note those bars. But when you have high volume like this, you expect wide price spread. So that sets up there. You're looking at February 23rd, 2012. When I say not wide price spread, folks, it had a low that session of 1647 and a high of 1687. 40-cent move on a day where you had some major volume. You also had volume the day before, and so it is trading down below that area. In fact, when you ask yourself who is in there, sellers or buyers, you want to really notate those on the chart out here. And as you can see, as we pull this stock across the bottom here, I'm going to use the prior day, which was February 22nd, 2012, also had high volume. Its highest volume, as you took a look at that stock chart, 455,000 shares. You'll see as we take that line across, as this equity has moved up into that area, it moved up into it a couple of times here. Moved up by June 18th. It moves up in there with 116,000 shares. That 116 going against that 455,000. Boom, rejects that area, moves lower. Comes back in and tests that again on August 22nd, this time with 110,000 shares. And then what's it do? Bearish engulfing and moves lower. Now you're gapping down with volume. This sets up that this thing wants to come all the way back to at least the swing point low, I would say, which would be the May 16th level, which is around $10.80. It's at $13.06 right now. Let's go take a look at Priceline, see what Priceline is doing this morning. That is the leader in the clubhouse, up $15 and change. PCLN is the ticker symbol. PCLN, as long as I can type. There we go. And now this thing here, okay, so let's pull this back. Oh, time absolutely flies, folks. 877-927-6648. Dow right now up 17 points. S&P, the leader, up 4 points right now. Composite down 1. We'll be right back, folks.
You
take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to check out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. It is fantastic Friday out here. Stay tuned. Following this show, Tom and I will be doing, with Daryl Martin, we'll be doing the Nadex Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. And says, oh, my green cup. I drink my mean green stuff out here. Then following that, we go up to Newton, Massachusetts to Basil Chapman from 11 to 12. Come back here. It's all about health. It's about health and wealth on Fridays here at T. It's always about that. Especially on Fridays, though, we go to Nico DeHaan from 12 to 1. Daryl Martin from 1 to 2, David White 2 to 3, Ken Shreve 3 to 4, and the Tom O'Brien Show from 4 to 6. Now, I'm preparing for the Nadex trading hour out there. I've already got my trade here. If we do see the ES Mini here get below the price point of 14.31.25, the trade for the day will be to be short the ES Mini. And so now, as long as it stays above that, I will not go ahead and take a short trade out there. So just broadcast. And if you haven't tried the Nadex platform, folks, go over to the homepage at tfnn.com. You can click on the banner. You can test drive it. You can it'll set you up with some money in your account, $25,000. I only trade this thing right now here really on Fridays just simply because I'm so busy. And that $25,000 has grown to $32,000. Go ahead and test that out. Also, if you're in the Tampa area or anywhere near here and you'd like to come to a free workshop, folks, don't let the price fool you, because the amount of education that you'll get is, it's pretty incredible. It's going to be a full half day. How do you like that? It's going to be a half day. It's on Saturday, September 29th at the Grand Hyatt. It's being sponsored by Nadex. Tom will kick things off. Daryl will finish things up. And it is on Saturday morning. All the details on the homepage at tfnn.com. So go check that out as well. Let's go take a look at a couple equities out here just to finish off the show. Let's take a look at Priceline. Priceline here right now up 2.5% today, up $15 and change. And this thing has a confirmed A to B equals CD down that it has not completed. If we take a look at the B point on this equity, it's going to be the June 4th low out at 603.49. And you talk about taking out a B point with conviction, meaning wide price spread, accelerated volume. Well, Priceline absolutely did that. It did that as it took out the B point here as it gapped down on August 8th, 6.7 million. Folks, that was 6.7 million going against 1 million. So it's got a confirmed A to B equals CD down. All Priceline doing right now, trying to fill some portion of the gap. In order to truly fill the gap, it would have to get up into the price point of 672. It's at 618 right now. Don't step in front of this thing. This has got some, that's just the first sign of markdown inside this equity right here, and that goes back to the the August 8th time frame out here. Haven't looked at the Apple today, but that's up $2. Not really moving much, but let's go take a look at it anyways. What did I do there? Well, let's just pull up the chart. AAPL is the ticker symbol. Where is my original chart? What you would have seen out here, I can always draw it back in here, is the 1.272 Gartley butterfly sell pattern on Apple. Let's just draw that in. That is off of the swing point high from April the 10th to the low that was put in on May 18th. And so that 1.272 completing as Apple had gapped up on August the 27th, got up to a high of 680.87. So what you could see here, I mentioned as we kicked off the show, a big part of what you saw in yesterday's move was short covering. Why do I say that? Because every technical trader knew where the resistance lines were in the marketplace out there, and that meant that folks had their stops somewhere above that. That is what really helped to motor things along, folks. But it did clear out a lot of short positions. Folks, stay tuned. Tom and I will be up next if you're off to start your day. Have a great day, a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you early Monday morning. Take care.